Welcome back on Firm Terrain for the markets at 94.66. Take a look at the broader end of the market, neck to neck with the frontliners. Strides Pharma surges in trade, something like India Bulls Housing having a good run. Take a look at RCF, Motherson Sumi as well as PTC and PSC. Bandhan Bank is active, something like Mahindra CIE as well as NHPC and Exide. Those are some of the movers on the Nifty 500. But let's talk about different sectors that are seeing an impact of the lockdown, and some positively at that. With the surge in people connecting to their digital devices at the time of a lockdown, companies like Balaji Telefilms stand to benefit with the rise in viewership. Let's connect with Nachiket Pantvaidya, who's the Group COO at Balaji Telefilms and CEO ALTBalaji. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining in. So you certainly have seen at a time like this, a surge in your subscribers during the lockdown period. So what have been your exact subscriber additions, and do you think that you will be able to retain these subscribers post the lockdown as well?
Well, the surge has been phenomenal. We've seen a 70 to 100% surge in the number of subscribers we are getting daily. From a level of 10,000 subscribers per day, we've moved to 17 to 18,000 subscribers per day in the last 20 to 30 days. One of the phenomena that we are seeing is that these subscribers are coming from previously untapped markets, rural markets, tier 2, tier 3 towns also, where we are very, very well positioned, as we are very low priced. We are about 300 rupees per year, so we are very affordable, and we are showing local Hindi content. As to whether these subscribers will churn out or not, our suspicion is that our content and our pricing makes it a very, very good deal for people to get their entertainment on. And therefore, our suspicion is they will stick on because primarily our content is linear series. That is shows which are not episodic in nature and which hook you on. We don't show movies. We don't show things that can be watched just one time and go away. We've got shows which have seasons and episodes. And therefore, we are confident that we'll form a very strong habit with these new subscribers who are coming in.
Okay, fair enough. So let's talk about the financial implications of that then, Nachiket, because we have seen your losses that have been contracting on a quarterly basis. So now what's the timeline in terms of breaking even, given the fact that costs as well are under control, subscribers have been added of late? What's the situation financially?
Well, financially, we are in a situation where we have to kind of weigh the benefits of subscriber addition and the increasing streaming costs and see how that goes ahead for Alt itself. So I feel that for Alt itself, while the numbers, keep growing in terms of subscribers, we will approach break-even in a quarter, at least 1 or 2 quarters in this financial year. Earlier, we had projected that we will break even in this financial year, but we don't know how the COVID market is going to pan out. Whether consumer spending will continue at the same levels. So we feel that maybe, we will see at least 1 quarter or 2 quarters of break even in this financial year itself.
Sure. But Nachiket, it's not only you, right? All other platforms as well, OTT, are seeing that massive uptake in subscribers and, heavy traffic, more screen time. That's all that we're doing amidst the lockdown, aren't we? Tell me, how is it that you plan to distinguish your content and your offerings from the other platforms at a time when the biggest challenge, I guess, would also be that there is no new content being created? So how is it that you improvise and rehash what you already have?
Well, I think if the lockdown continues indefinitely, that question is, of course, a very different question that we can answer in about a couple of months. But if indeed the lockdown, opens up, say, end of June or so, we are in a position to launch 2 shows every month because we've got 10 to 12 shows which are in various stages of production which can immediately go on. So we are very confident of putting 2 new shows on starting July, provided the lockdown ends in June. That's point 1. Point 2 is we have always differentiated ourselves from the other OTT platforms in 2 respects. One is affordability. We are at 100 rupees for 3 months, probably the least entry point price for anybody. And secondly, we show linear, original Hindi content, and we are focused on that. And we are the number one player with 60 shows, 60 original shows in that genre. And we'll continue fueling that position by putting more shows on. The last and very important point is that for us, subscriber acquisition possibly will be coming at a less expensive cost, because right now digital ad inventory is not full. And therefore, one of the fallouts of this pandemic is the fact that digital inventory is going empty, and we can get subscribers, we can acquire consumers by advertising on these digital platforms at a much lesser price than we used to in the Jan, Feb, March quarter.
Sure. Could you also tell me more details about what the new show pipeline is looking like? Because you seem pretty confident that if indeed the lockdown were to extend till June, post that every 2 months you will be up with a new offering.
Well, it's not an offering every 2 months. We are seeing 2 offerings every month. So that's actually, we'll probably have 18 shows out at least in this financial year if the April, May, June quarter is a washout for us. Well, in the pipeline, of course, 50% of our shows are targeted towards, a certain male audience. Another 30% are female targeted and 20% are universal. Primarily, we are planning second seasons of our hit shows like Apharan. Right off the block, we've got Kehne Ko Hum Safar Hai, which will go. Today, in this week, we've launched a show called Who's Your Daddy? So we have a whole slew of shows. I won't go into the details of what the shows are, but the mix is 50% male targeted, 30% female targeted, and 20% which are universal across both. And we will end up at a clip of 2 shows a month, if of course the lockdown ends in June.
Okay. Good to have you then on the show, Nachiket. Thanks so much for taking the time out, and we'll see you on the other side of the lockdown. Stay